Hey guys, it's Super Soft Pants here, and I decided to start streaming today just because I had the time to. I've been animating, and I would like to make one of these streams. I want to keep
Hey
it.
guys,
Oh, hold up.
Super Soft Pants here, and
Sorry, I forgot my own video was on. See, I barely started streaming, so if there's a ton of mishap that goes on, it's entirely my fault. but I started streaming because um sometimes I just want to talk to you guys. I want to maybe give advice on art, and sometimes I want to play games, invite my friends over so we could chat, and we could all interact. And I wanted to talk about character development in terms of like, oops, Mary Sue's, and Mary Sue's are a very controversial subject. And I'm going to talk about how it's normally talked about and how I see it. And we're going to start with the former. So a Mary Sue is usually thought of as a character, like a character that is perfect or not perfect. It goes off in two different angles, where they usually have nice, like if it's a female, they have nice, pretty hair that's, uh, all flowy, and they're perfect. Um, and usually these go off into different categories. Like they could be like maybe like a princess or um, someone who doesn't have a lot of flaws. This is my attempt at doing this. Um, Someone who either has a very tragic past, um, and or has the perfect life, who usually interacts with the main characters, and usually is basically, she doesn't have flaws. She's um, everything she does, it's for a reason. She can't lose, and she's the center of the universe. And she'll have very strange designs like rainbow hair and stuff like that. But how I see it, it's very different. Um, I think Mary Sue's, I don't really hate them, but I think too often more of a, it's taken as more of like it's one way type thing. Like it's seen as a one definition type thing. Like it doesn't take into account world building or the world in the said fandom that this character is in. And real quick, I would like to show an example. Um, Danny Phantom, right? It's a show we all grew up with. Um, Now it's a show about a kid who turns into a ghost, right? And what you would hear as a Mary Sue is a character who, um, she hangs out with Danny. She has a crush on Danny. She's a dark person. She has a bad past. Now, that's what would be called a Mary Sue in Danny Phantom. How I see it, it's all about world building. Now, Danny Phantom fights ghosts and stuff, and I think if someone were to make a character and they didn't want to make the mistake, how I see it, I don't see it as a sin for a character, OC, to interact with the main cast. Honestly, in my opinion, if you're gonna have an OC, um, that doesn't really interact with the main story, honestly, I don't see the point of making an OC for that said fandom. I think you should just make your own thing. Because if it doesn't interact with the main characters, I don't see why it would even need to be in that universe. If that makes sense. Um, like Danny Phantom fights all these ghosts, monsters. So let's say you make an OC that's like a monster or like a ghost. You know, like, or like one of the side characters. You remember Valerie? I'm just picking out random images, so they're kind of weird. That's why. Um, let's see. So we're gonna do it in the who made the show? Butch Hartman. Now, when people are making characters, they don't always have to make it on model because people have their own styles. But let's say you want to go for this style, and we want to make a female villain. Let's say, so we start out with the head. We go with that blocky art style that he has. So we draw out the character. We're just gonna make her real simple, not really, just as an example. It's a ghost tail. We're just starting out with the I can't draw hands if that wasn't obvious. Um, we're just going off a basic design. Now, a lot of times it's the looks that matter. It could make or break a character. In terms of what you can and can't do, there's really not a lot you can't do. And the reason I'm talking about world building and the reason I use Danny Phantom as an example is because it's kind of easy to start out with. He lives in a world where, he either fights against like teenage villains, adult villains, old lady villains, So the age range could be really anything. Now, in terms of let's see, looks. He fights. Let's make her a teenager. And teenagers at them, they're not exactly adults, but they're not exactly kids. And they believe in free expression, like you see teenagers with all kinds of clothes and stuff. I'm practically one, still a little bit. It's that age where we get to like almost wear what we want, we get piercings if we want. We could wear any kind of style we want, and it's all up to us how we want to dress. And since she's a teenager, she kind of has that going for her. What type of style? Now, this is where I bring up the sins of OCs. People say making them edgy would count as being an OC. But what if you didn't call it edgy, but you called it like maybe a gothic style or punk? Let's say, and we create a new layer on top of our base, so we could draw over her for different types of examples. And let's see. So let's say, and the reason I cross out edgy is because in the world of Danny Phantom, it's not too unheard of for there to be gothic characters or punky characters. Not saying they're the same thing, but I am saying that it's not unusual to have these types of styles in the show. So you can't rule out these two because they are possible designs that can be used in the show. So if you do want to go for the gothic or punk look, you can. And even though I'm talking about Danny Phantom, I'm kind of giving a reference to how you could see it. It's all about world building. If there are certain rules that the show has or rules it doesn't have, that depends on how you make your OC. In terms of style, you could do almost anything you want as long as it's well maintained and it has some structure to it. So if we want a gothic type OC, black clothes, so just get the black and stuff like that. Now, okay, like in this example, I'm giving her just a black shirt with a skull on it. It's not too crazy, right? In terms of hair. Oh, what up, guys? I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. Guys, this sounds like common sense, but when I was like I knew I was gonna do googling, so I was like, okay, let me sign out so it won't have any like different results or anything. Well, I was streaming and I didn't realize the logic behind that, and I signed out, but I was still streaming somehow. So thank goodness. Um. Anyways, let's get back to the live stream. Um, we're talking about making like characters, right? And we're gonna do the Butch Hartman style Danny Phantom, and they got the blocky design. I'm just looking at this for reference. So she's like a goth chick, right? And so give her like a cool dynamic ghosty hairstyle. Let's see. It's okay for her to look a little funky, especially if like you're making a character for the first time. So, like, give her something that stands out. Like, it's okay to make your OC look a little funky. It's perfectly fine. And I know this isn't the perfect gothic style because I'm not used to drawing like that, but though what my point behind this was, you can make characters that are seen as edgy, but because the style of Danny Phantom says that's perfectly fine. There are goth characters in that show. There are punk characters in that show. So, by the rules of the show, you can't have a character that looks like this. And the reason why the whole Mary Sue rule, which basically means no goths or no edge, basically, you could throw that away because the show kind of eliminates that because you can't have characters that look like this. And the reason I'm pointing this out is because a lot of times characters are lumped together in an unfair manner, People will have characters that look like this, and they'll be called Mary Sue's when really the rules of the show itself says that you can have a character that looks like this. And so that's perfectly fine. We're going off that rule. And so, if you want, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Go ahead and do that. What I want to do is I want to make my own character. I just wanted to bring that up because that's what I thought. My major rule when it comes to like Mary Sue's and stuff like that is to if the show dictates something, like has certain rules, and it has rules it goes by in terms of design, then you could totally follow those rules, and you can break them sometimes. No one says you can't break the rules. It's just a matter of how you execute it. There was another subject I wanted to bring up. If it breaks the rules, it can come off Mary Sue-ish. But you gotta make sure you're breaking a rule that's perfectly fine to break. Like, if you're watching, Gravity Falls, you can't have characters that look all kinds of ways. I'm not sure how people do that, so I am going to stay away from that area because I really don't know anything about Gravity Falls. I'm just going off what I know. So, let me see. I want to make my own character. I have this show called Gadget Girl that I'm making, and I wrote down a note. I wanted to make a new OC named Fireball. Gadget Girl is basically about a girl named Olive who fights crime with her gadgets, and she takes down all kinds of criminals of all kinds, and a lot of them are her age. So not only like she's fighting characters that look like this or look like that or have these powers or have this thing, and I try to fit it into this rule where let me see. I want to make a character named Fireball. Now, I'm going to make her a villain. Okay? And she's going to be a girl. Her personality is going to be kind of wacky. I don't know what else to put. I'm just spitballing here. Wacky, destructive. Because if you're destructive, you're going to be a little wacky, right? And that's what I got going for her. Her style, she dresses messy. Because when you do nothing but destroy, you can't expect your clothes or your hair to be clean and slick. You're going to be very, messy. It only makes sense. It would not make sense if she was clean cut, had pretty jewelry on. So that wouldn't make any sense, right? It could if you did it right. But we're just going with the destructive thing. And her weaknesses, basically anything that could kind of, now I'm not really good at this department, so bear with me, because I have my own problems when it comes to developing characters. I have a lot of weaknesses myself when it comes to even coming up with these ideas, so bear with me. Her weakness, I guess anything that could really extinguish, like what's the opposite of destruction? Order. Anything that puts a stop to her plans, anything that and she's a villain, and she's not gonna be the most involved character. She's gonna be probably a one-time thing, let's say. And her weakness is order, her destruction being undone, basically. And I'm not even talking about her personality. I'm just saying what could bring down this villain that the hero needs to take down. And she's a teenage girl, right? So she's not going to be very big. Let's design her head first. That's what's always easy to start with. Before we get down to the whole outfits and everything, right? What does her head look like? And let's see. She's very skinny. She's a skinny girl. She needs to get from place to place to cause as much destruction as possible. And it doesn't even have to do with like what she does. This is just how she looks. But this is how I see her, so we're gonna make her like skinny, a skinny build. She has red hair to kind of go with the whole fire theme, right? Sorry, I don't know how to write today. Red hair. Let's see. Let's give her some shades, When you're burning stuff, you can't have, stuff flying in your eye. So let's get that down. She's pretty nuts. She's pretty wacky, so let's kind of give her, like, this really creepy look in her eyes, And the point of this villain is to destroy the hero's, path, to destroy the town. And she needs to be stopped because she will burn down all of Metro City, let's say. So, she's going to have a real pointy nose. And I think the rule I kind of set up for this world is, when it comes to style, just keep it at a minimum. But if you want to add stuff, make sure it's not too crazy, She was not going to have any piercings because in terms of how that'd work out, if she ever was blowing up anything or setting stuff on fire and the room is very hot, you can imagine her ears, like if they had earrings, getting very like burned by her own earrings, let's say. So she can't wear any jewelry like that. Let's give her like a real slim face, you know. She keeps her hair up. And it's real messy. There's a little ponytail right there. That looks weird. Let me save this actually. Okay. So her hair's gonna look all funky. All funky. It's gonna, maybe you could sizzle at the ends, you know. Maybe she just got done burning something. Sizzle, sizzle. Sizzle, sizzle. There we go. Real skinny. You know, she's real proud of herself. She just burned down a house. You know? And that's Fireball for you. Now let's move on to how the rest of her looks. We got the head down. That's always the easiest place to start. But you can't always have a headshot. You gotta see what the character looks like, right? And let's see. Okay. You gotta have some kind of body for her to move around in. As I said, she's real skinny. And she's more like a... Let me just draw out the basic skeleton here. It's not gonna look perfect. It's gonna look all funky. She's gonna be... Let's make her in the process of burning something. She got something. She's holding something right here. And she's burning stuff. It's some kind of flamethrower type thing. And okay. And keep in mind, I'm not looking at any references right now, but that would be a good idea so you could get a good grasp on anatomy. Maybe look at some colors that would help you out. Okay, no, the reason I keep checking back and forth because sometimes I forget to turn the microphone back on and that could really mess me up. Let's see. Don't want the brush too big. Okay. So we got the head down. That's what we do first. Okay. We got the head. As I said, her clothes aren't gonna be in the best shape. She's burning stuff down, and it gets hot, so she's probably gonna wear like a tank top or something. Let me let's see, zoom out so that way. Okay. Um, it's working this layer, so or we get a good idea. So her arm's gonna at least be a little smaller than that. Okay. Hmm. It's fire. Keep in mind, I don't know how to draw weapons the best. This is some weird flamethrower thing I made for this, so bear with me. That's the basic. It's a really weird sketch, I know, but this is the first time I drew this character, so she's gonna look a little funky. And there's room, for your OC to look a little weird at first, especially if you're as inexperienced as I am. It just takes practice. Maybe, do what I didn't do and look at references when you're making your characters, right? And, this is the whole pyro person I made named Fireball. And I will be including her in my artwork very soon if I start drawing her more. Get used to her. Because this is the first sketch I made of her. And if your OC ever comes out not looking the way it did in your head, that's perfectly fine because this is happening with me right now. This isn't what I saw in my head many times. She looked way different than this. But if I practice and if I look at references, see stuff that may have inspired me that would probably help me in fleshing her out a bit more, she will look way better. And I'm happy with how she came out actually. I like the hair. That's actually not how I saw the hair in my head, but now that I drew it, it looks a little better than it did in my head. So I'll definitely keep up with that. And she will have like little fiery tattoos. I forgot to mention that. So it's like psh, 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 psh. Her life is just like I love fire. Psh, psh. Fire on her shirt. She's obsessed with flames. Psh, 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 psh. Like she's just gonna be like a Guy Fieri, just having flames on our clothes. She's gonna be real, you know. And this is the new OC I got going on. Let's start up a new 1280 by 720. So what I want to go away with is when you're making an OC, basically make sure it makes sense in the world they're in. So if they have magical powers in a normal setting, probably like in, like, let's say I don't know, maybe the show had never mentioned magic before, but your character has magic. Maybe it doesn't work out for that fandom, but maybe it could work out in another one. Just make sure their powers, the way they look, make sense in the world. And actually, I did want to bring up a good point. You remember what I brought up about, like, you know, it's a little Mary Sue-ish for characters to know main characters. Like, I know the only reason I'm bringing up My Little Ponies because I used to like it when I was in middle school. Sorry. I used to like it when I was in high school, like a freshman year, but I stopped watching it. But people who know me or, like, seen my stuff before, they knew I started out drawing ponies, but I kind of stopped. But let's use this as an example, as I know a lot of people love My Little Pony, you know, and that's fine. And the hugest no-no in this fandom that I've seen is no alicorns. And a lot of people know that nowadays. I don't see people making alicorns as much as they used to. So, you know, there's nothing to complain with that. But I think the rule kind of goes the same with My Little Pony. It's perfectly fine to have a pony that may skew from the norm. And in terms of, like, relationships with main characters, that's a huge no-no too. But I honestly, the way I see it, and this is my opinion, and I don't know if a lot of people agree with this. I personally don't have a problem with that because no, I'm not gonna talk about shipping or anything. I'm gonna leave that out of this for now. I might talk about that later, but now I'm not gonna really speak about it. But what's it called? I don't see a problem with it if, let's say, because if, as I said, if you're gonna have, My Little Pony has tons of, like, fandom branches, you know. You got Fall, Equestria, and stuff like that. You know, they found ways to not have the main characters interact. That's fine. But I don't see it as a completely bad thing. I don't see, like, an OC being friends with Fluttershy as a bad thing. Or Pinkie Pie, or Rarity, or Twilight, and stuff like that. Now, I don't expect them to be in the main 6. That's not what I'm saying, you know. But I am saying it. You can have your character interact with these, and that won't be a problem, you know. I think you can. If you really want to have your character be friends with Fluttershy, you can. But it depends how you do it. Let's say you did. You want a character that's friends with Fluttershy. How would that work, okay? Let's say you were bent on that. Like, what I would do is I would make a character who kind of complements Fluttershy in a way. So we got a pony. I haven't drawn ponies, like, in forever, so excuse me if it's if it's a little funky. So that's the base we got. Fluttershy likes animals. Who would Fluttershy know who also dealt with animals? If she has some friends outside the main 6, why would she be friends with this pony, right? There has to be a reason. How about she let's say this character likes birds, okay? Likes birds. And maybe she specializes in growing bird seed, you know, or, like, you know, making bird food. And when you go to her house, burbs everywhere. You gotta bring up those burbs everywhere. And keep in mind, I'm not, like, you know, an expert on My Little Pony, and I don't like My Little Pony anymore. I'm just saying how I see it. And let's say you know, you got the pony eyes All pretty. Pretty pony. Do 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 do. Pony eye. Another eye. Do 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 do. Okay? Pony eyes. You got the ears. Got those ears. Now, this is, an important part. We fleshed out, like, what does she like? She likes birds. Making bird food. She has birds in her house. So Fluttershy would maybe like to be friends with this pony. Another pony that shares her interests. That there's no problem with that. Let's see. So already this pony has her own identity. She kind of has a purpose where she lives. Maybe other ponies buy bird food from her. And she has this kind of special knowledge about birds. She knows what food birds like the most. Her life is birds. Her cutie mark would probably be like a little bird. Let's draw a bird. Little cutie mark. That's a pretty bird, don't you think? Pretty bird. Let's draw her cutie mark. Boop. Now, isn't that adorable? Look at that. That is art. So her cutie mark would be something with birds. And what I think, maybe she could have, she's a Pegasus. So she gets to fly with her little pets. She gets to fly in the clouds with her little birdie friends, And so since she likes birds, birds fly, which means she loves to fly. And that also goes towards her cutie mark. Her cutie mark's like a flying type bird. It's not chicken or anything. It's a bird that flies, like a blue jay. And so maybe her name would be like Blue Sky. This sounds like a pony name, right? That's another rule I have. If it sounds, the names, for example, in Danny Phantom, maybe you'd have some guy named Jeff, right? Now, a pony named Jeff, I don't know if that would work. Maybe, maybe not. I doubt it, though. I haven't heard any ponies named Jeff. But Blue Sky would work. It's all about world building. Blue Sky is this pony's name. And she loves birds. Sky, birds. See? We already got a pony with a identity around it. This is what she likes, her personality. Let's talk about her personality. Let's go in a new layer. She's not shy, but she's friendly. A lot of ponies in Ponyville are, right? A lot of ponies are friendly. But let's say by contrast we had a pony that wasn't friendly, that'd be fine too. But she's friendly. Cares about helping others. I'm not good at writing bios, so helping others. Alright. She makes bird seed, right, for all Ponyville to buy from. She helps them. She gives them advice. Well, I heard blue jays prefer this type of seed. I heard red robins like this type of seed. Pigeons love this food. Hummingbirds need this amount of food, She would give them advice. So it makes sense that she likes to help ponies. If she didn't, she wouldn't be giving them advice. So that kind of goes into it. Now, bring it up to Loves the Fly thing. Now, how would this pony look, okay? Maybe she could have like a short aerodynamic hairstyle. Something like this. She's not a girly pony. She's a little bit of a tomboy. So she could have like, hair like this. And because when you fly, you don't want a bunch of hair just flying in your face to go. So that makes sense, right? So you got a pony that not only has her own identity in the world of Ponyville, she provides a service that's very useful. She has a cutie mark that matches what she likes. Her style matches her lifestyle because she loves to fly. Short hair is very aerodynamic. So you got a pony that really works out here. And this is just something I made randomly, so it's not perfect. But it is kind of bringing up a lot of world building and how you could do stuff that isn't very normal. And I know my advice may seem a little problematic, saying your OC could be friends with the main characters. But I guess the reason maybe I don't have a problem with it is because I think as long as the characters aren't made to be shipped with another character and stuff, because I know that's very controversial, and I'm not gonna bring that up. I'm not gonna try to, because I don't feel like I really have the expertise in that area. That's why I don't really want to talk about it. But if your character maybe can do something to help a main character, like provide a service, provide advice, then I think they can be friends. I don't think they can be the best of friends. I don't even think she could obviously make it into the main six or anything, but she can be like, she can be like an acquaintance to them. She can. It be like they're the main six, right? I don't think it's really possible for another pony to not know about them, because I think like in the show, aren't they like super famous or something? So I think in terms of world building, it really wouldn't make sense for her to not know them. But at the same time, I don't think this is the kind of character that would fit into the main six. She doesn't stand out that much, but she does serve a purpose in Ponyville. She's cute, like look at that pony face, that's adorable. So she has a purpose, and she likes stuff. And I know I'm repeating myself a lot. I get nervous, so I repeat myself because I'm not used to streaming. So that's kind of how I talk. Um, But the reason I wanted to talk about Mary Sue's and character building in general is because I do think it's a little too, I don't know another word, binary or something like that. Like, I think the rules, oh, I think I know, like a one size fit all. Sorry, I was like, I'm trying to find a word. The rules are too one size fits all kind of thing. It, it kind of makes people feel like they're very, like, in a box. They can't do what they want. Maybe, like, and I'm just here to tell people you can do what you want. You can make characters that go against the norm. You can make characters that stand out. And but at the same time, I know you shouldn't go too crazy. And I want to teach people you can make a character that looks nice, has a lot of importance, but doesn't have to look too crazy. Um so let's take our pony friend. Let's make her look better. Now that we got her made. Um, what color should this pony be? How about she's a white pony with blue hair? That's not crazy, right? It's kind of fits her thing. She's like white like clouds, but her hair is blue like the sky. That's doesn't that seem pretty good for like an air pony? So do that. We're just shaping her out. We're just making her so I could color her. So we're redrawing this, and so it looks a little cleaner. Boop, boop. If I was better at vectoring and stuff, I would totally make her actually look like one of the characters from the show. But I need to practice at that, because I know people who could like vector really good. Like you know how My Little Ponies and Flash and stuff, right? Uh, Stoop. I forget. Yeah. Wait. Can I clip? I'll see if I can do that. Maybe I can. Do that. Her wings aren't. I don't know how to draw ponies, so her wings are gonna look a little funky. That's fine. Doot doot. Okay. There is my pony, Blue Sky. And who knows? Maybe I might redraw her, put her on my page, so you can see her example, the example I made later, if you want to. You don't have to. Okay. that that looks real funky now that I look at it. But she's white, like the sky. Her hair's blue. I mean, she's white like clouds, but her hair is like blue, like the sky, like that. Huh? I can't clip. Okay, thought I could. Okay, let's see. Okay. Drawing in Flash is funky sometimes. What should her eye color be? I know they have like they could have. What's a good contrast of blue? I'm forgetting art class already. That's good. Let's try like orange eyes. Let's see if that could be a good contrast to her. having warm colors for a cool colored pony. And there you go, we got Sky. Star cutie mark. I forgot she had one. I'll try not to make this look ugly, because I don't know how to draw cutie marks. Boop. Ooh, it's a birdie. Look at that bird. There's her cutie mark. And there we go. There's our pony. It's not too crazy, but she's a pony. She's a pony. She has blue colored hair. Ponies don't have blue colored hair, but in the world of My Little Pony, it makes sense. Therefore, she has blue hair. Alright, so we got the ponies. And, well, I know I talked about ponies and Danny Phantom and stuff like that. That wasn't actually those fandoms, because I know Danny Phantom still has a following, but that wasn't the point of this live stream. I just wanted to show how you could develop a character and how you can make them relate to the world around them. And maybe sometime I could talk about independent characters that aren't in a fandom, but you make them on your own. Which I kind of don't want to get into because really I think you could do whatever you want, really. It's all up to you since it's your world. I think what I would recommend for OCs like that, OCs that don't belong to a fandom or OCs that are their own thing, is I recommend that you do some world building. I think you should set down the rules that you think your world should have, so that way you have a good blueprint to go off of. For example, is there magic in your world? Is colored hair normal in your world, or is it seen as not natural? Like, let's say your world is more bleak and there's people in suits running around. You're not going to see a lot of people with neon hair, right? That's just, I don't know, that's the only example I can think of. If your world has dragons and stuff, what are the limits for the dragons? Can they have different breaths, or are they just fire-breathing dragons? It's all up to you. What I would do, though, is I would set those boundaries, I would set those rules, so that way any OCs you make do have a certain justification to them and stuff. And like for example, are there princesses in your world, and could anyone be a princess, or do you have to have rules? Is it like, your normal thing, someone's born to royalty, or can they become a princess? And if so, set the rules for that. If it's the type of thing where you can only be born as a princess, then don't have a lot of your characters be princesses, I guess that's the only way I could explain it. In terms of the styles, because I know the Gothic style is very looked down upon, and I understand, because a lot of times it does. I think the reason it is so looked down upon is because it is seen in places where it isn't seen very often, or it's very it just does not fit in the world. Like, I don't see anyone in Star Trek wearing black chokers and stuff. I think that's where the disconnect is for people. And as I explained in Danny Phantom, I think it makes sense because there are characters who have been shown to have some kind of Gothic style in it. So if you had a Danny Phantom character that was like a goth, that really wouldn't be weird. But let's trying to think of something else. If your character trying to think. Let's see. I could probably open up an example here. I have a character that's going for that look. She has the trench coat and stuff. Oh, it's actually not even a trench coat. It's more like it's like a cape, if anything. But it's supposed to look like a trench coat, kind of. If you want a character that looks a little dark and stuff, you can. Just don't go crazy with it. If they have piercings, don't overdo it. But no one can tell you that they can't have piercings at the same time. If you want your characters. Now, actually, the ponies again. I don't see a lot of ponies with piercings. Well, you know what? Actually, I just I'm wrong. There are ponies that wear earrings and stuff. earrings. These are, I don't know how ponies wear earrings. Let's say these are like blue pearls or something. I don't know. Like, okay, in My Little Pony, I see ponies wearing earrings. I don't know if they can wear earrings like that, actually. I don't know if you put them here or here. Or, I don't, let's see, do ponies wear nose rings? Actually, um, I don't see ponies with these type of piercings, really. So, I wouldn't go too crazy with ponies and piercings, just because, if the world building doesn't suggest that they have certain piercings, I wouldn't do it. But if you want to, no one can tell you you can't. Like, you don't have to completely listen to me, really, when it comes to this. If I say, well, I don't see a lot of piercings in My Little Pony, no, I did say a while ago, you can break the rules a little bit. Let's say she does have piercings. But let's keep it at that. Let's not add any more. Because we already got the vibe she likes jewelry. Okay, so that's good where it is. Now this pony doesn't have piercings. I like it like this. But that's all I wanted to say on the subject, just because I kind of wanted to put out my thoughts on Mary Sue's and OC's. I know I kind of talked very strangely. I don't know how to form my sentences right, but it's just because I'm nervous. I don't stream a lot. But I just wanted to talk about this because I just feel like talking about it. I want to help. I want to help people make characters, and I want people to know that they're free to do what they want. They don't have to listen to people who tell them what to do. They can make characters however they want. And I just wanted to have, bring some advice, show some examples, and I don't know, I've always wanted to teach people how to do stuff like this. So, um, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. If you liked it, please like the stream or tell me what you thought. You can watch this later. It's gonna be archived on the YouTube, so you don't have to actually, watch the entire stream. You can just go, if you see it like on my channel, you can just skip through it, skip through points you might like, or you could, you can do whatever you want. It's all up to you. You don't have to watch it. But if you like it, then please tell me. And if I can do something better, comment below. Tell me how I could improve. If you want your OCs to be reviewed by me, I'm not gonna. I'm only gonna talk about the positives. I'm not a critiquer, but if you want me to talk about your characters and I'll tell you what I like about them, maybe what I would improve, but not. I'm not gonna critique or anything. But if you do want me to critique, and if you want some advice on how to make your OC better, you're free to ask me. You could send me your artwork, or if you want me to show off your artwork, show off your demon art, show off your Tumblr, show off your YouTube channel, just comment below, and I'll see about that. I might do it in the next stream, or maybe a pre-recorded video where I can edit it and stuff, so it's not too long. But I hope you liked it, and I'll see you guys next time. I might do this tomorrow, when I'm done animating, because I have a busy schedule when it comes to that. But I hope you guys liked it, and I'll shut up now. Peace, guys.